So hi everybody, how's everybody doing? Welcome, 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 welcome.
Hi, thank
Um,
you.
Welcome to Limitless Month, everybody. So this is our second session. So thank you guys all for joining us again. For those of you who don't know, my name is Alicia Robinson. I am the founder and executive director of Limitless Ambition. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that serves Northeast Ohio. So we have teen enrichment programs in inner city schools. We donate care packages to young girls in foster care. And then we also host women's empowerment events in the community. So every year, in a typical year, we typically have a fall social where it's a free event where we invite people out. Usually it's at Mustard Seed to learn more about our organization and to meet our team. This year we had to kind of get a little strategic, and we had to come up with a different way to connect with people. So we decided to host Limitless Month empowerment sessions every Wednesday for the month of October with different themes. So thank you all for coming. I do want to shout out Kelly Nelson and the rest of the Fund Development Committee for coming up with this idea and for helping us put these on. So without further ado, we'll get right in because these are an hour, short and sweet. I would like to introduce our speaker for today, the amazing Zinga Hart. So Zinga is Limitless Ambition's founding board president and my boss bestie. So that is code for, people always ask, how did we start Limitless Ambition? We Googled, we locked ourselves in library rooms with whiteboards and came up with strategic plans and dreamed really, really big. And now here we are, and we have our Limitless Ambition. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Zinga, and I will continue to let people in. So Zinga.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alicia, and thank you to the entire Limitless Ambition team and board members for inviting me to speak. I was president of Limitless Ambition for like 6 years, maybe 6.5 years. And the organization is like my baby. I feel like the daddy almost of Limitless Ambition. And, the baby bird is out the nest and it's in the hands of some beautiful wings of women who are strong and powerful and just taking it off flight. So I'm so happy. I'm happy with all the work that has gone on since the pandemic, and I'm happy to be here. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that we can dive into our session for today. So one of the things about Limitless Ambition that is, I think, core of the organization is purpose, and helping young girls and women define their purpose and refine their purpose and continually tap into that inner voice that drives you towards fulfillment, drives you towards the feeling of success and gratitude and happiness. We believe a lot of that taps back into your purpose and your story. So building off of last week's Tiffany's amazing presentation, kind of pushing past pain to your purpose, this is part two, almost like a supplement to that. As you get past that pain and that trauma, you'll find yourself in a space where you might ask, what next? I'm done. Well, not always, but I've done the work to quell my inner demons, and I've done the work to find my purpose, but how do I keep it going? How do I keep it pushing? Even when I don't feel like I'm fighting anything anymore, it doesn't feel like a challenge. Where do I get that inner challenge to continue to grow and to continue to tap into my purpose? So, I hope this moves. Oh. All right, so session. I love to do an action session. So please know that if you have a pen and paper available or some way to record things, I highly encourage that you do that because this session is meant to be for you. It's meant to be your journey to walk through. And the key concepts that we're going to talk about is what I like to call fulfillment fuel. So that's that gas to keep you going. Something that you must quantify to continue to build that path and unfold your purpose. Test your ... We'll see that in a bit, but that builds off of that success path. And then the last piece will be like, what now? What do we do on that regular basis to keep unfolding and keep making sure that we're a part of this journey of unfolding our higher selves or our greatest and best selves? So who am I? Why am I talking? What do I know? Like, what am I here for? Beyond being a part of Limitless Ambition, I have a master's in higher education with a focus on adult learning and development. And my emphasis was on experiential learning as well as self-efficacy. So experiential learning means your experience is core to how you develop. Like, yes, you can read a book, you can watch a TV show, you can hear somebody about it, but until you experience something for yourself, you will not have that full knowledge or full weight of an understanding of some process or some goal or some step. So I always try to include experience in my workshops. If we were in real life, some of you may have been to my workshops before. I always have like a worksheet. We always got to write down an action plan. You're going to walk away doing something at this session. So please be prepared to do that. My mission is to draw out the best in others. I have a blog, zingaheart.com, where I focus on small steps to your success, because I believe that a lot of us can achieve anything that we want, even our biggest, most audacious goals, if we just take down into bite-sized chunks and, just keep chewing through. You'll finish that cake eventually. That's a Matilda reference. So building off of session 1, Tiffany had this beautiful quote, quiet the things that dull your light. And I believe a lot of her session was about that, like what is taken away from you? And once those things are quiet, what is the next step to build off of? It's really to fuel the things that set your light ablaze, right? What is that inner fire in you? So we're gonna work on focusing, fueling your fire next. Oh, hope we go forward. All right. Nope, it did not. Here it is. So finding your fulfillment fuel. What are those steps there? How do you tap into your fulfillment fuel? Is it just, things that are easy and delicious? Like, it can't just be cakes. It's got to be something deeper to what you find to be substantial in yourself and how you feel about how you're going out in the world. So fulfillment fuel, I always start at the top, and I start big. And that's find the biggest win, find the biggest goal, find something that will definitely scare you. There's a really good quote from, I believe, what was her name? Elizabeth. She was the 24th president of Liberia. Gotta get the last name. But her quote was, "The size of your dreams must always exceed your capacity to achieve them." So as you're approaching a dream that might come true, your next dream should be bigger than, and that becomes the gas to keep you going, the what should I do next step. And then once you have that big dream in place and you've written down and you've figured out what that impossible thing that you might want to do next is, slow your rolls. Really look at, where are you involved now? Who are you? A lot of us are women. I think we have all women on the call. So, some of us may be mothers, we may be sisters, daughters, teachers. Our career is a role, our role in the community, our role in relationships. There's so many roles that we might have or be attached to. Trust me, I know. Don't even ask how many roles I have right now. But, sit down and mark those out, like the employees that make up you. See who's got what job and what you're involved in, and then ask, are they aligned with your wildest dreams? Are they taken away, or are they feeding in to that big thing that scares you? And then once you slowed your rolls down, boil down to the basics. So those are the bite-sized chunks that we always work towards. Underlying my big scary dreams, underlying what matters most to me. What are the basic values that drive that, right? So I know I want to be a real estate investor, super big on that, but the basic value behind that is financial freedom. Like, that's the value. I want to be financially free so I can pursue, my goals without fear of being fired or whatever that may be. So just kind of always connect your big goals, whatever that, win the lotto, build an empire, to those values: security, community development, love, care. So all of those should tie into, and that kind of becomes that gas that you give yourself to pursue as you are on this path to your purpose and unfolding your purpose. Make sense? I speak fast. All right, I'm getting a nod. Candace, A1, got you. So slow your rolls, right? What roles? Let's dive into that. I kind of have four major roles that I think of. I've seen them written as three roles, maybe self, social, professional, whatever that might be. But this is just a good way to kind of think of the general pots of our lives. So you have yourself, that's always at the center. What do you value most? What do you respect about yourself? What do I do that impresses me? What do I do that doesn't impress me? Kind of look at yourself at the core of what you're doing and be honest, right? It's a private conversation. I don't think Facebook is listening, but have that conversation in your journal and really be like, this is who I am, this is where I'm at, and this is where I want to be, right? And then family, right? That helps build into that big goal. What legacy do you want your family to learn? And that taps into that value that you're speaking into. Because if we think about big businesses and the common stories about the tycoon that gets so rich, but then at the end of the day, he's lonely, he don't trust nobody, everybody might want a piece of his will, and like there's just corruption throughout the family because they replace the money with values, right? So put that center of legacy into your family role. And like, if I could plant a seed of growth, what would that be? So I hope self-sufficiency is the seed of growth that I put into my family. I have 8 brothers and sisters and I'm always kind of pushing them towards like, find that purpose, find that goal, and work towards being self-sufficient and self-successful. So then community is that next step. You live in a community, you have a neighborhood, you have people that you care about, whether it's a church community, whether it's a gym membership, like where are the communities that you're attached to, and how do those communities build prosperity around you? Because overall, your impact feeds towards that. And if we're all feeding towards prosperity, then we're just creating a community that flourishes. So like when I was a part of LA, like my purpose was there to see like, what do we need more of? We need more of our girls to see women like us feeding into them and saying, hey, you're an investment. You are of value. And then that continues to feed off each other and build and grow and prosper and flourish. And then finally, career. Your career is not just a job, it's really what you're talented at and the talent that you bring to the table. So going into that hat and saying, how do I build value? How do my skills change and help impact the goals of others? So those are the roles, kind of tap into this action step. I hope y'all have been following along the whole way, right? So kind of create your circles on a piece of paper. Have your circle for self, have your circle for family, have your circle for community and career. I won't take up too much time because I know we have an hour. Oh, are people chatting? Oh no, people are chatting. Okay. Color. Oh, thank you for the colors. Okay, sorry. I might have undiagnosed ADD, y'all. It's okay. But yeah, this is the action step. So if we were in a Limitless Ambition Purposely Chosen Women workshop, this is where we would pause and you would actually do the work. So I hope that you are actually pausing, doing the work, thinking about the questions that we have. Will it go back? I don't think it's going to go back for me. The questions that we have here and how those impact you. All right, so I'm gonna give you a minute to kind of look at it, work on it, think about it. And then, all right, if I went too fast, let me know, but I think I'll send Alicia the PowerPoint too. All right, so last session, Tiffany, amazing. She was a little hesitant about sharing her story. When you don't have nothing that is like lifetime trauma, you might think, what traumas do I deal with? But she said, you know what? A friend told her, a mentor told her, pain is not quantifiable. You will have your own traumas and you will have your own challenges. And who's to measure that for you? But to build off of that, success is. You cannot have success and you cannot measure success without having some way to quantify it. And that is such an important step. And I think it's one of the key steps whenever I give a SMART goal session. I spend the most time on making sure when you write your goals, you have points of measurement within it. And, I'm a part of an organization, we're a community organization. And one of the things that we've been struggling with is diversity and inclusion in our organization, and really showing that we care about diversity and inclusion in our organization. And I think like a lot of the time was spent on just writing a statement, right? And that's beautiful and well done, but the feeling of satisfaction, the feeling of achievement is not there, because we never got to that point where it's saying we are going to invest X on 10 businesses. We are going to increase membership X by X amount. And so you got to get beyond the statements of success and get to the set measurements of what you're checking off to get to that next step. So let's go to the next. Success is quantifiable. What you measure is what you grow. So go back to your big wild dream. Did you write it down? Are y'all in it? You've got to take the action steps. So go back to that big wild dream that you thought about and find all the areas where you need to grow to get there. How do you measure that growth, right? And so to kind of help, what are some measurement methods that we can think about when it comes to that goal? So I want you to look at that goal, think about that goal. Are you going to measure success through time? So I'm going to open my online business in 1 year. I'm going to launch it. It's going to be a website in 1 year. Are you measuring it by money? I'm going to have 10 clients per month that pay on average $100. I measure my real estate. It's like, I want to have 10 units that profit $250 eventually. Pray for me, right? Remeasuring by things, right? I want to make 50 postcards this month and have them available for sale on my Instagram. Length, width, and height. So I want to lose 20 pounds, so this is very good measurement methods. Impact is another thing. I want to serve 50 girls with the Dream Kit, which is a very real goal that I created with Alicia when we released our Dream Kit. Like in 1 year, we want to launch our Dream Kits and give them to 50 girls, right? So that's impact. And standards, I want to be thought of as quality, right? I want people to leave reviews that show that I am the best at this, or I serve them the best at this. So looking at these different ways, these are basics. I went for the most basic measurement methods. I'm sure there's probably other ways, percentages, ratios, who knows, but just always kind of look back at the goals that you're setting and stop and say, if there's nothing that I can count in this goal, it's not a functionable goal. And that's just the straight truth right there. So track how you act. So kind of track how you act now for later, right? So know your lowest baseline. What does that even mean? So for a lot of people who are kind of starting on the journey of success and starting their success goals, you have to kind of know where you're at, like what is your baseline now. And I think of those who are starting a business or starting a nonprofit. You're at zero at some point in time, or you're kind of starting already, you're doing some things, but you have to kind of review your actions, especially in terms of those goals. So I want to use let's see, starting a nonprofit that serves kids lunches during the pandemic, right? At some point, you're serving 0 kids, right? Lunches. That's your baseline. So you kind of have to track what is your baseline for whatever your goal is. It's very broad, and I try to give the best example, but it really just depends on you. So if you have any questions there, let me know. But always kind of go back and say, what's my regular week look like? What does regular functioning me look like on this goal journey? And then that's where you say, okay, this is the small change I need to make. If I'm watching Moesha every Monday at 9, but I really could use that time to write a blog, you kind of track where you have space to do that. All right, so moving forward, tracking points. So tracking your time, tracking the value behind where your energy is spent, tracking how your energy is impacting yourself and others, and tracking what you consider to be your best or most highest performative work. That goes back into that self-efficacy idea. where you kind of have confidence in your ability to execute the things that you want to execute. So what are those success signals for you as you're tracking yourself and your goals? Whew. All right, questions so far? I said a lot. I covered a lot. Those are like 4 different workshops in one, y'all. So let me know if you have questions. I'm all right with that. So cool, no questions? Did I go too fast? All right, perfect. So back to that session 1 recap. Who are you? Map your purpose. Like, I love that. Always do that. And I think a lot of what I'm alluding to is folding back into yourself. I like the quote from the Warrior Goddess Training workbook or book. It's a really good book if y'all ever want to dive into like some self unfolding type of journey. The author writes, when we bring our attention back to discovering who we are on the inside and not who we wish we were or who we think we should be, we begin the sacred path of transformation towards our innate, authentic, embodied power. And that's very deep and heavy and a lot to chew on. But the essence of what she's saying is going back into yourself and going back to your voice and your core truth will always result in tapping into your higher self, in tapping into your power, and tapping into who you are. You almost never have to seek outside for anything because it is within you. And so the journey of unfolding your purpose is really the journey of going within. So let's focus on that. But then the next step, right? How do we really continue to go within and continue to challenge ourselves to grow, you know, because I could talk to myself all day and I don't have to challenge myself to do anything. I'll be like, you're beautiful, you're fine, you're good. Well, you know, but if we want that higher purpose, if we want to feel like we are on that track, we are on that journey for our destiny, we have to venture out. We have to venture. We have to test our horizons. We have to set and reset our boundaries, and we have to challenge ourselves to get to that next level. So how do we do that? How do we test our limits? How do we set our boundaries, right? Go back to the first one, set scary goals, right? Live as if your wildest dreams will come true. What is your wildest dream? I plan to own like 100 units of real estate. That is crazy to me. I grew up poor. Like, what? I'm at 2. You know, so and then every week revisit that and set a scary goal for the week. You know, I'm gonna reach out to the president of Kent State and say, hey, what's up? So set a scary goal for the week. Connect to new, and that kind of builds off the first one. Find ways to make new connections. So always think, where's a new space? Where's a new Zoom meeting? You know, maybe I gotta write letters now during the pandemic, but where can I connect with somebody new that connects to my bigger goal, my bigger purpose, my bigger vision? Alicia's really good at that, by the way. So always reach out to her. But feed off of, oh, that's a typo. But feed off of fails. Feed off of them. Every day. I know this woman, she said, you know, every day I wake up and I ask, where can I fail today? It helps you get to the success faster. It's a way of pivoting your perspective that failure is something that stops you. No, failure is the fuel of success. You'll never get to success if you don't get through all the failures first. So, you know, either you put it off for now or later, but you still got to wade through that to get to the success. So you got to stay, you got to set yourself up for, these 3 things. I don't care whether I fail or make it. I'm going to do it, you know, and I'm almost hoping to fail because that means I did it. That means I got the proof of where I landed on the success and fail plate. And then finally, double your deadline. Be generous in this big, wild, scary goal of when you're going to get there. If you like, oh, I'm going to have my business going to be dope. In 6 months, it's going to be launched, thousands of clients, millions of followers on Instagram, you might want to double your deadline for 6 months, you know? So be very generous in the time that you think it needs to take. And it is like a real estate thing. Like for any project that you have going on, it's almost like you need to double the time it will take to get there. So, you know, maybe it's not an exact calculation, but the essence of that point is whatever you're trying to do, always expect it to take a lot longer than it will. So, yay, moving forward. So, action plan. Did you set that scary goal? I gave you several chances now to set it. Did you do it? You wrote it? Anybody? Hands? No. All right. So go ahead, set that one scary goal. And then two, think of two connection opportunities that you can make in this next week or next 2 weeks. Like, what's one person, a mentee you haven't reached out to in a while, or a mentor you haven't connected to, or a local business leader that you've always admired and now you want to do a quick virtual coffee chat with them. Like, really look for those opportunities for you to engage with people, especially if it's in line with your goals. And then finally, list 3 recent fails and 3 successes you've had and celebrate all of it. Because every fail that you've had means that you took an action towards your goal. You are not inactive. And action is the juice of business. Keep it moving, keep it pushing. So, yes. Oh, am I going too fast? So I'm gonna let y'all take a sit and take a step to kind of think that through, your 1, 2, 3 of testing your boundaries and moving forward. Yes. All right. Moving forward. Yes. And then I like this. It's one of my favorite week worksheets that I give out, but unfortunately I can't give it out to all of you. But always kind of align yourself. I live by the week. I think a lot of entrepreneurs kind of live in these cycles. So you live by the year, 10 years, or whatever the length of your strategic plan is. You live by the week, you live by the month, you live by the day, sometimes by the minute. But I like to kind of set up my week in this way, in this sense. You gotta squeeze in small amounts of times to take action towards your goal. Looking at these questions here, I hope you guys consider them, and I hope that maybe I'll make little weekly cards one day and we'll put them in the dream kit, right? With everybody. And then, so go ahead, think about that for the week. Who can you share your progress with? That's always very important. I think that kind of goes into the next one. So, the dream kit. And actually, that actually does feed into the next one. So one of the things that I helped when I came to Limitless Ambition was the dream kit. And what we do is we provide our self-guided workbook for young girls to kind of go into some of these action steps and some of these personal reflective pieces where they unfold their own journeys and they consider their space and who they are. And it also includes affirmation cards. So it's such an important tool. We give it right now currently to girls in foster care, and we've increased who we've given it to, girls in all our programs, I believe. Alicia, weigh in on this. But it's just a tangible tool, and it's become so important, especially now in the pandemic, that we can't be in the same space with each other and build off each other's energy. This is just a way of saying, hey, we care about you, and this is how we show we care, by saying we want you to be the best you can be. So if anybody's interested, please let me know. We're always looking for people to celebrate and support the Dream Kit there. All right, so, and then I just wanted to say thank you to our sponsors for Limitless Month this month. Rising Careers 1965 collection, Nebby Braids, Monica's Creation, and Her Beautiful Mind. So do we have any questions as a really fast action session? But I think that a lot of the steps that you've taken there, you can do often, and you should do often, because these are all things that it's like a compass, you're in uncharted waters when you're working towards your big scary goals. And so you always will have to realign yourself with your stars so that you make sure that you're navigating towards the right track. So any questions?
So I have a question. So I love this. And I'm very much a planner, and I love having all these portions of my life. But I always struggle with priorities. And so I'm curious as to what you have found to keep, and how do you prioritize all 4 categories and make sure that what you didn't have on there is fixing the car, taking the dog out, making sure, I mean, all the chores that chew up your day. So you've got some great tips. And so I'm sure you've got some great examples of how you overcome all of these things that are taking your attention away from what you want to accomplish.
I know. Well, thank you. Hey, hi, Deb. I miss you. Yes. So prioritizing, I think I have a lot, and like this pandemic, and with my daughter being in kindergarten and a Zoom class all day and me working from home all day, like I'm in an MBA program in kindergarten at the same time right now, y'all. It's a lot. But how do we prioritize the things that are important to us? And that goes back to that slow your roll type of screen. Hold on, let me see if I could go back to there. Boop, boop. And thinking about those roles that you have and the values that you have in those roles. At the start of every week, I kind of create little to-do lists for all these roles. Like, what do I need to do for myself? I need to schedule a doctor's appointment. I need to dump clothes out of my closet because it's getting kind of crazy in here. What do I need to do for my daughter? So I just kind of write down, and there's only so much you can do in a week. Like, you have to embrace that and embrace there's a future week. And even though it's unknown, even though the future is not promised to us, we have to embrace that we will do things in the future when it comes. So, yes, I write the list and then I number it. If I'm ever really feeling like I don't know what to do next, I will number, this is number 1. This is the hardest thing that I need to do that would have the most value and most leverage for my future. And I put that first on my list, and I do that first. And then I number everything else. And if I don't get to 15, but I made it through 11, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to celebrate that success. And then tomorrow I'll get to 11. So but I may be a little bit unique there because I can be a little lax. I like to think of my home as the judgment-free zone. Like, people come to my house to feel better about their homes because I'm not Martha Stewart, y'all. I'm not. But I am working on that impact in the community, and I am working on the business that I'm trying to build, and I am working on this. And you know what? At the end of the day, when I think about my fulfillment, I'm fueling me. I can't put my gas in your car. You know what I mean? So find that ways to feed yourself, and that's how you prioritize it. You got to think of that as putting the oxygen mask on first, right? And then everything else you'll get to it.
Well, and I love the perspective that there are other future weeks.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
A little procrastination in some places doesn't hurt. I'll tell you that.
It's not like you're just sitting around. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you for asking. I think the chat's lighting up.
Yeah, Zinga, LaQuadria wanted to know, can you repeat the name of the book you mentioned? I think she's talking about the Love Goddess book.
Oh, yeah. So it's called The Warrior Goddess Training Book. Like, just look up Warrior Goddess Training and you will find it. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And I got the workbook too. And like, I'm a very big fan of these activities and these actions, and it's just kind of packed with those activities. Like, there's one where you just kind of gaze at yourself in the mirror for like 5 minutes every day for a week. Do you know how hard that is? To just gaze and accept. So I really appreciate her. She's kind of like a role model. I hope to be on that level one day and have my own little warrior goddess training thing. But I highly recommend that book for sure. So, what else? Anything else?
So people are asking, will slides be sent out? Yes. So everything. So these are recorded sessions. I also just came up with the idea literally 7 minutes ago. I'm going to have all the presenters turn their presentations into PDFs. And so we'll have them housed on our website under the Limitless Tools tab. I literally just came up with that. As well as you'll also be sent everything out and a link to the webpage once it's up. And we'll try to do that promptly. So it's 6:38. And so I do want to strongly encourage, does anybody want to share their big scary goal? Is anybody having problems coming up with action steps? I don't want to toot her horn, but Zinga is an expert strategic planner, business developer, like any idea you throw at her, any wall you've hit, she can literally tell you how to get over it. So this is the time to get some free advice. Does anybody want to be vulnerable, throw their, idea out there, or share like something that's keeping them kind of like stumbled up or stopping them from achieving their goals? Now's the time. You got about 4.5 minutes. So who wants to go out? I'm telling you, put out there. Who wants to do it? Deb is like me. Was that a voice I heard? Anybody want to?
If nobody shares, I'll share mine, but I'll wait.
Right, because she could get Zinga like.
Well, the truth is, y'all, I do this for fun for now. So honestly, if anybody wants to reach out, like there's no greater fulfillment fuel for me, like I said, draw people's success, like than seeing somebody's growth journey. Like I almost like kind of lose interest when like YouTube stars make it big. Like I'd rather see y'all on the camera phone and then like see you, oh, you got a little light box now. Oh, I see you got your background. Like that growth journey is so important to me. Oh yes, so thank you. So email me anytime if y'all just want to have that one-on-one conversation, quick 15-minute chat, or check out my blog where I do kind of help break down little things. Like I might start posting there again, but I used to do like one more move Monday, and it's like one more move that you could take to just go after your greatest dreams, honestly.
I dropped her an email in the chat.
Yes.
Hurry up and reach out because we are all charging in 2021. So get your free advice now. Women should be paid for their work. But Tiffany, would you like to share? Or does anybody else want to share? We'll do another little pause before we let Tiffany take the vulnerable leap.
Yeah, go ahead, Tiffany.
So my big scary goal that I came up with probably 2 months ago is I want to retire January 1st to 2025. Like I don't want to be employed for anybody else on that date. Financial freedom and generational wealth is something that's really important to me. And so that is super scary to me, but I want to stick with it. I want to be done. I want to be free from having somebody say, well, we can't approve your vacation time, even though nobody's really ever said that. But I just want to be in charge of my own destiny and my own time. And since time is a commodity that we cannot replenish, I want to live my life doing what I want to do with my time. So I want to retire 2025.
I love that. I have 42. I want to retire at 42. I don't know what year that is, but it's coming fast, y'all. It's coming fast. Oh, what's that? Somebody wrote. Oh, yes, Karen. It is a great goal. So, yes, Tiffany, I love it. That's a bold goal, and I think you will achieve it because you are on track with your business, Eat, Speak, Love. And honestly, everybody could achieve it. And if you really are having a struggle kind of deciding what that purpose is and what it is you want to do, I always, this is one of the best kind of self-efficacy experiential things that you can do. Set a timer for 5 minutes, find your space of peace, your space of quietness, 5 minutes, and then just continue to write. If I was living my best life, if my best life was handed to me, what would I be doing? What would my environment look like? Who would I be talking to? And I mean, get down into the details. Like my curtains are made of the finest silk, and I am sitting on my porch on the beach waiting for my next client to talk to me about my next building purchases, like whatever it is that it's going to be. But free write and push it. Don't just make a quick checklist, like free write. Because what you're doing is you're allowing your inner voice through your body and your muscle memory, what is embodied within you. They call it your embodied wisdom. It is a ideology, like look it up. It will come out, it will flow out of you almost as if it's a spiritual thing. Some people will say it is a spiritual thing. So I think that is one of the best things. And if you can't free write, if you don't feel like writing, your hand cramp, do a tape recorder and just talk to yourself. You might sound, you might want to be a little bit more alone during that time, but, just talk it out and then listen to yourself back. But just kind of giving yourself the free space to be and think and flow with who you are will always tap into something greater. Yes. Yeah.
Well, does anybody else want to share their big scary goal?
They gonna keep it, Alicia.
Anybody else? Going once, once you say it, it starts to manifest. Now, when Tiffany retired, I told her she always be like, "I'm gonna be on the beach. I'm gonna be right there with you. I'm probably gonna be back at work by Monday, but I'm gonna still be there." You know what I'm saying? Because I think I'm gonna retire for the first time at like 40. But y'all know I'm a busybody, so I don't think I'll ever really retire.
I hope to really retire. At least for
Anybody else have a question or want to share their big scary goal before we wrap it up?
Okay. All right.
I want to add, just can everybody do like that we did last week? I thought that was so impactful for everybody, just to say like one thing that really stuck out to them and drop it in the chat. And I'm going to say for me, I loved when you said track how you act and know your lowest baseline of things, because I'm a person that I'll set a goal for myself and instantly I think I'm supposed to be like way up here when really I need to know like, okay, it's okay to have a baseline and then build up to it. So for me, track how you act and then knowing your baseline was something I took note of.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, if everybody could just drop it in the chat, we'll read them out.
Yes, I see Ari says define and refine your purpose. Yes, that's very true. Very true. Because you're moldable. We are always changing. I'm not going to use my metaphor that I always use. I'll use the butterfly metaphor, you're not going to be caterpillar forever. You're not meant to be a chrysalis forever. You're meant to fly, beautiful butterfly. Yes. Oh, yes. Get failure out of the way. Yes, do not. Because what's the worst that happens, right? With failure? You're back to where you were anyway. Okay? So I always try to think of it like that. Maybe you're a little more frustrated than before, but at the end of the day, you'll be back to zero and you can always try again and try again and try again. So, LaQuadra, you struggle with purpose. You have so many interests. That's very true. And I like that role. And when you break down your roles to the basic values, that kind of helps you create, I forgot what the word is called, but kind of like, yes, I'm going to do that because that checks under my values, or no, I'm not going to do that. Kind of, it's just escaping me. What do you call it when you, never mind. The criteria, I don't know, but it just creates like a balance for the decisions that you're making. Kind of, I know that I really value my time, and I know these people waste my time. So, I'm not gonna mess with that. So kind of really looking back at your values will help you kind of align your interests. And what you start to see is there's a thread usually in whatever your interests are and wherever you want to be. And you always want to kind of get closer and closer to that thread, because then no matter what you're doing, no matter what multiple things you're doing, you feel like you're always just doing the same thing, which is living your purpose. Yes. You got any questions, Candace? You got any questions? Okay. You're just looking cute. That's fine.
LaQuadra, I have a question for you. So to go more into that, so do you love volunteering doing anything, or do you have a focus that like kind of sets your soul on fire the most? So like maybe when you like volunteer at the food bank, you feel okay, but when you like go to the battered women's shelter, like you feel really alive. So that would be the next step that I would step into. Like, so yeah, you like volunteering and making an impact, but what type of impact really sets your soul on fire the most?
Yeah, I love that. And there's some good volunteer groups to join.
Right. Which is a really good segue. So let's all give Zynga a virtual round of applause. I want to thank you all. And I want to thank you, Zynga. I love an action-oriented workshop. Like I love to walk away with tangible steps that I can take to put in my life, to put in my business, and that can really fuel me to walk forward. I love Zynga's workshops because she's all about experiential learning. You're always gonna journal, you're always gonna write, you're always gonna have homework. And so that's what I love. the most. So thank you so much, Zinga. Let's give her another virtual. I seen the reactions pop up. Let me do my little brown hands. A virtual round of applause.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
And so I know we had some people who joined us kind of midway through towards the end. So before, we do have raffle items, so you might want to stay on the line to see who won the raffle item. Don't leave yet. But just to recap, so my name is Alicia Robinson. I'm the founder and executive director of Limitless Ambition. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We've impacted the lives of over 3,000 young women and girls. We do teen enrichment programs in Akron Public Schools. So we're in North High School, Jennings Middle School, Bookto High School, STEM Middle School. We'll be in Barberton next semester, well, in the spring. We also have a school in Cleveland that we're really excited about. We also donate our dream kits to young girls in foster care. And then we throw women's empowerment events in the area. And so Limitless Ambition is 5 years old. And so to go off of Zinga's whole track your progress, when I first started my business, of course, anytime you start a business, you think, oh, I should be farther. I should be doing this. But one of my favorite podcasts actually said to think about your business like a child. So Limitless Ambition is 5 years old. She's only in kindergarten. She has a little afro with a little purple butterfly. She talks back to the teacher all the time. She leads the little students. And like the other day, they went on strike and walked out because the teacher wouldn't let them choose what type of recess they could have. So when you think about your business like that, I know we have a couple people on the call whose business is only 1, maybe even 6 months. So it's still a baby. Is your baby even walking? Is it talking yet? You know, so just think about your business in those regards. And it kind of takes a lot of the pressure off of things. So of course, you know, we hold these things so that people can learn more about Limitless Ambition. I'm going to drop in the chat ways that you can donate to kind of fuel our mission. And also if you want to get involved. I know some people said that they love to volunteer. So I'm going to drop some links in the chat. And then now I'll turn it over to Candace to share who our raffle winner is.
Woo.
Hello, guys.
The basket.
I was just taking in all the great knowledge, Zinga. Just getting it all in, taking my notes. Okay, so today we have a great raffle basket. Let me go ahead and show it to you guys, and then I'll pick a name. This is kind of heavy. So if you can see, we have like a wine basket here. We have wine glasses, a cute pink bottle of wine. We have a beautiful crystal decanter. We also have like the wine opener. We also have a custom journal in here from Monica Creations. And then we also have her beautiful mind book also back here. And that also has a free coaching session in it as well from Brenda Coulter. And then we do have a gift certificate from 1965 collection that's worth $40. And then we also have a gift certificate from Rising Careers for a resume service for $250. Yeah, and that's what we have in there. Plus, cute little basket that you can reuse. So let me go ahead and pick a name. All right, my little jar. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, the winner is Patrice Dukes. Hopefully I said that correct. I think I did. So if y'all can see my little paper, Patrice Dukes.
She's not on the call, but she's from Warren, so I'm really, really excited.
Okay.
So she won.
So that means Alicia gonna be getting her basket in Warren.
So as you guys can see, we have really, really good raffle items. So continue. There will be 2. Okay, Warren. I know that's right. There will be 2 more sessions in the next 2 Wednesdays. So if you go buy raffle tickets, we have some really good baskets that we're giving away. So please continue to buy your raffle ticket. So in closing, our next session will be next Wednesday. We talked about pushing past pain to pursue purpose. Today we talked about unfolding your purpose, and next week we'll have our very own Brenda Coulter talking about destroying limiting beliefs. So you can have all types of goals in your head. You can want to do so many things, but we all can sometimes get that imposter syndrome. We can think we're not good enough. We can think we're not qualified. I've literally had all these thoughts all week. So there's a lot of things that can come across your brain, and there's definitely ways to kind of be strategic about shifting your mindset, shifting your narrative so that you can live the life of passion and purpose that you would like. So Fun fact, once again, if you click the same exact Zoom link next Wednesday at 6, you will find us all here. I will be sending out reminders again. So of course, if you register for the first 2 sessions, you will get an email. And so yeah, we'll see you guys back here next week. We will be waiting around in the room if anybody wants to chat in the virtual room. But yeah, have a great week, everybody. I love seeing all your faces. You guys brighten my day. So yes.